The death of a cartel leader incites violence in Mexico, and that's having a ripple effect on travel across the country. We're live at the airport with more on the delays and the cancellations.
It's not helping that the partial government shutdown continues on as well. Again, a full report on all the flight delays, all the cancellations, live at DIA in just a minute.
And Congressman Jeff Hurd responds to President Trump about withdrawing his endorsement and who Trump is now endorsing instead.
Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Corey Rose. We're going to get right to the top story of the morning. Cartel violence in Mexico is impacting flights to and from the U.S. Hundreds of flights canceled, including flights from Puerto Vallarta to Denver, after the long-pursued leader of a Mexican cartel was killed during a Mexican military operation. We have 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joining us live from Denver International Airport right now.
So, Courtney, Mexican cartels have made headlines before, but we really haven't seen anything with this kind of international impact in the past.
Yes, that's right, Corey and Drew. Planes turned back and were diverted this weekend as dark plumes of smoke started surrounding Puerto Vallarta and other parts of Mexico. We know that flights to Puerto Vallarta from Denver have been canceled, but we just spoke with some passengers here whose flight was canceled yesterday who said that United Airlines just let them know that their flight is back on schedule. So maybe some of these flights are starting to open back up for people. But U.S. officials say Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, or El Mencho, led one of the most powerful and ruthless criminal organizations in Mexico. So his death was met with a forceful reaction from members of the cartel who burned cars and blocked roads in nearly a dozen Mexican states. Mexican authorities have reported at least 14 people have died. The cartel was known for trafficking huge quantities of fentanyl and other drugs into the United States. Because of the unrest in Mexico, some people traveling from Denver missed out on vacations, and we also know that the U.S. government has told people traveling in Mexico to shelter in place there. Sisters Becky and Jessica Paulson were on a plane to Mexico City on Sunday morning when they were forced to deplane.
We're thankful that we're not there, stuck there in what seems like a firefight and just like a city just in not a good state. Yeah. So we feel safe, but sucks to lose a vacation.
One man from Lakewood who has a home near Puerto Vallarta city center says he doesn't know when he'll be able to leave Mexico at this point. We'll hear from him in an hour here at 8 o'clock. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you so much. 7:03 is your time for this Monday morning, and we have a traffic impact alert for anyone taking 70th Avenue at I-25. All eastbound lanes right now kind of shut down because crews are there on scene. Really, it's 2 right lanes and only 1 lane is passing through this area. But what I can see is that CSP has that lane to I-25 blocked off. So for anyone trying to get onto I-25, you won't be able to if you are taking those eastbound lanes. We are seeing firsthand this rollover crash because Sky9 is over the scene. Adams County fire crews are also on scene investigating this crash. So what I've noticed is that crews are walking up and down that 70th Avenue bridge right near I-25. So I want to show you what this looks like on our CDOT cameras and also that road closure. So we have crews there on scene. Again, you won't be able to hop onto I-25. This is where we're seeing Adams County fire kind of blocking those 2 right lanes as well. I want to show you where this is all located on our maps. If we zoom into that area, that's kind of like that by that big mousetrap. So between I-70, Highway 36, 270, I-76. So again, it's happening along 70th Avenue and I-25. On the eastbound lanes is where you're going to see the 2 right lanes blocked off. Now, if you're heading to Boulder this morning or heading to Broomfield, you're not going to come across any issues because of that crash. Right now, your overall drive, if you are heading to Boulder, only 18 minutes and still crash free.
Thank you, Brianna. Next up here, a live look at downtown Denver from Elitch Gardens. How about the spring-like weather in your forecast for the final week of February? We had plenty of it this week.
I don't think Elitch Gardens is open right now, but if it was going to be open, it'd be phenomenal weather this week.
Yeah, or opening day of the Rockies, 60s, 70s in the 7-day.
Right.
And yeah, we're wrapping up February. No winter weather for Denver, but we do have some mountain snow on tap. But
Bring it.
yeah, I mean,
we'll
it'll feel nice outside, but just not normal for this time of the year. While the Northeast gets hammered by blizzard conditions here in Colorado, we will be under a ridge of high pressure for the next several days. That will keep us relatively warm, dry but also windy at times for Tuesday. This morning, taking you live outside, a beautiful shot as the sun comes up over Lyman. It is dry conditions to and from the mountains. No real weather worries on this Monday, February 23rd. It has gone a little bit colder out of Denver International Airport. This is the coldest time of the morning just as the sun rises right now in the upper teens. 20s near Central Park and Centennial. So yes, we are bracing for some warmer weather, but it is still chilly outside this morning. Definitely want to have the jacket on, the layers on for today. The warming trend arrives for the afternoon with highs in the upper 60s ahead in Denver. 70s tomorrow, even some low 80s over the southeastern plains. More mountain snow on tap, but we'll get through some gusty winds first tomorrow and then introduce a little more moisture. Best chance for picking up any precipitation this week in and around the Denver area looks to arrive late on Wednesday in the form of rain. This morning we are waking up to temperatures in the low 30s. Downtown, some single digits and teens off to our west. Partly cloudy skies for the day. A quick warm up ahead by 11 a.m. already at 55 degrees. A layers kind of an afternoon. You'll be able to shed that coat as in the afternoon with a high of 66 degrees. Pretty pleasant with calm winds. It'll feel nice outside, but then mostly cloudy skies this evening. Dry conditions through dinner time, and we will stay dry with gusty winds tomorrow. So our Front Range mountains, the foothills west over the drive up to the high country, you will find some very strong winds for Tuesday. I'll break down the extended forecast, the futurecast, what we can expect in terms of precipitation and winds. But tomorrow's main weather headline for the Denver area, we are expecting near record warmth, looking at 70 degrees with a record of 71 set back in 1995.
All right, thank you, Katie. We do want to get back to the airport story this morning. We're keeping up with FlightWare just to keep you aware of what's going on if you are heading out that way. So far this morning, nearly 11,000 flights are delayed. More than 5,000 flights are canceled. Now, that's across the country. As far as what's happening here in Denver, there are 25 delays and 87 cancellations this morning.
The Department of Homeland Security has reversed the decision to temporarily suspend two of the most widely used travel security programs in the U.S., TSA PreCheck and Global Entry. Over the weekend, DHS said the security programs would shut down as part of the partial government shutdown. However, in a very quick reversal, the TSA said that the PreCheck program is operational with no change for the traveling public. TSA added that staffing changes would be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Meanwhile, DHS employees deemed essential, including an estimated 63,000 TSA agents who have continued working without pay.
Republican Congressman Jeff Hurd responded to President Trump after the president withdrew his endorsement for Hurd, who represents Colorado's 3rd District. Now, he was one of 6 Republicans who joined Democrats earlier this month to pass a resolution to repeal President Trump's tariffs on Canada. In a post on X, Congressman Hurd said in part, quote, "Every vote I cast is guided by what is best for this district and the long-term strength of our country." He continued with, quote, "Leadership requires independent judgment and the willingness to stand on principle." President Trump, by the way, is now backing a long-shot challenger in the 3rd District, Republican Hope Scheppelman.
2 law enforcement sources identified the armed man that Secret Service shot and killed at Mar-a-Lago early yesterday morning. They told NBC News it was 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin from North Carolina. The suspect's identity hasn't been officially released, though. Authorities say he entered the secure perimeter of President Trump's Florida home at about 1:30 in the morning. The Secret Service says it looked like he was carrying a shotgun and a fuel can. Secret Service agents confronted the man, shooting and killing him after he reportedly raised the shotgun at them.
At this time, no law enforcement personnel were injured during the incident. We want to be clear, the President of the United States was not in the state of Florida.
Yeah, the president and first lady were not there at the time of the incident. They were at the White House. Neighbors in Arizona have launched a community-driven search for Nancy Guthrie. For the last couple of weeks, Tucson resident Alex Zabel has been looking for Nancy Guthrie on his own, and then he asked for help organizing this volunteer-based search party. Just under a dozen volunteers decided to help looking in surrounding areas, searching for anything that might point to her or a possible suspect involved in her disappearance. Volunteers came from as far away as Phoenix to help.
I mean, I'm hoping that the locals are interested in this case enough that they want to go help search.
We really feel like people should be out here supporting more, especially if it was their own parents, you know. And it's really scary out, and there should be a lot of people being more aware of this going on.
In a series of posts on social media, the Pima County Sheriff's Department says they appreciate the volunteers' concerns, but ask searchers to give investigators the space they need to do their work.
At least one person died and several others are injured after a deadly double bombing in Ukraine Sunday morning. Ukraine says authorities made an arrest after the bombing, the latest attack in a new wave of Russian strikes. Officials indicated that Russia may be preparing to use ballistic missiles as Ukraine faces the prospect of its energy shortages growing even worse. There's also accusations of blackmail from Slovakia and Hungary. Ukraine says those two countries are threatening to cut off electricity supplies. Tomorrow, by the way, marks 4 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
In Gaza, Palestinians are getting a taste of the life they had before the war with Israel. In a moment of escape, they're using a half-size pitch to play soccer for the first time since the war started. The Palestine Football Association and Gaza's soccer clubs cleared rubble from a destroyed building to build this pitch. They're using it to host friendly tournaments, but for many Palestinians, it's not just about physical activity. It gives them hope that they'll one day be able to play the sport again. According to the Palestine Football Association, since October 2023, more than 550 soccer players have been killed in the war, the majority by Israeli strikes. Happening today, CPW is set to hold a vote on its next director. Laura Clellan has been named the sole finalist for the position earlier this month. She has been serving as acting director since late December. Commissioners say Clellan brings extensive experience in management, organizational leadership, and military service. If approved, she would formally take over leadership of the agency.